Have you ever worked so relentlessly hard for a goal, poured every ounce of your energy into climbing that impossible mountain, only to reach the summit and feel absolutely nothing? It's the quiet sickness of our successful, modern world. We follow the playbook. We strive. We achieve. We acquire the house, the title, the comfort. And yet, beneath the polished surface, a profound, aching emptiness begins to bloom. Why does the harder we try to fill our lives, the emptier we become? This is a deep question. While we listen to the story of a man who mastered the art of winning but forgot the joy of living, we will also learn some new words that help us understand the difference between striving and thriving. Alex was 35 years old, and by every measurable standard, he was an absolute conqueror. He was a senior vice president at a massive hedge fund on Wall Street. His yearly bonus was enough to buy a dozen starter homes. His penthouse apartment in Manhattan offered a stunning panoramic view of the entire city skyline, stretching out toward the distant, hazy coast of New Jersey. But the view, like his accomplishments, felt increasingly two-dimensional. His days were a blur of quantifiable metrics. How much profit? How many new accounts? How many miles did his expensive German car put on the odometer, commuting between deals? He didn't just work hard. He worked savagely. He believed that effort equaled worth. If he wasn't exhausted, he wasn't trying hard enough. Sleep was a necessary, unfortunate waste of valuable time. One particularly gray Tuesday morning, Alex closed the biggest deal of his career, a multi-billion-dollar acquisition. His team cheered. His boss clapped him on the shoulder, promising immense rewards. Alex went back to his massive mahogany desk and stared out the window. He should have felt euphoria. He felt the dull, familiar weight of needing the next thing. The satisfaction lasted maybe 3 minutes, replaced instantly by the anxious thought, what's the next acquisition? That night, alone in his sprawling apartment, surrounded by expensive, impersonal art, he felt a crushing, icy coldness. His chest physically hurt from the lack of meaning. He had everything, yet he was hollowed out. This feeling of striving toward something wonderful only to find it meaningless upon arrival is called the hedonic treadmill. Alex was sprinting faster than anyone, but the finish line kept moving just out of reach. He decided he needed a break. Not a vacation. A vacation felt like running away, but a change of scenery for a single afternoon. He found himself wandering through a small, forgotten historical park tucked away between 2 towering glass structures downtown. In the center of the park was a community garden, meticulously cared for. There, kneeling in the rich black soil, was an old man named Samuel. Samuel was the park's groundskeeper. He wore worn leather gloves and hummed quietly while tending a row of vibrant purple flowers. Alex watched him for a few minutes. Samuel moved slowly, deliberately. He looked peaceful, something Alex hadn't felt in nearly 20 years. Alex finally cleared his throat. "Excuse me, sir. The flowers are beautiful. They must take an incredible amount of effort." Samuel looked up, his eyes crinkling at the corners. "Effort, yes, but not striving. There's a difference, son." Alex frowned. "I don't understand. I live by striving. Effort is the same as striving, isn't it? You push. You achieve. That's the formula." Samuel slowly dusted the dirt off his knees. Striving is pushing yourself toward a goal that someone else defined, usually to prove your worth to the world. Effort, real effort, is the slow, quiet dedication to your own growth, regardless of the outcome. Alex sat down on a nearby stone bench. He told Samuel everything. The billions of dollars, the exhaustion, the emptiness, the paradox of why the harder he tried to succeed, the more divorced he felt from his own life. Samuel listened patiently, occasionally turning over a clump of earth in his hand. "Alex," Samuel said softly, "you haven't built a life. You've built a pipeline. Alex blinked. A pipeline? Samuel nodded. You have engineered a complex, massive pipe designed to move resources, money, status, deals, as fast as possible. The water rushes through the pipe, gives you momentary power and speed, but it never stops to soak the ground. It never nourishes the land around you. You are dry because you focused all your effort on the transit, not the reservoir. Alex was building a life defined by the velocity of incoming validation. His achievements were running through him, not into him, Samuel continued. The key to feeling full is building the reservoir, the internal tank. It doesn't fill with money or awards. It fills with presence, with connection, with doing things that are slow and messy and meaningful for their own sake. He gave Alex a challenge. For the next 30 days, I want you to dedicate 1 hour every single evening to an endeavor that has zero career value. It must be something that cannot be measured, something that forces you to be imperfect. Alex, the master of metrics, was baffled. Imperfect? What if I fail? The goal is not success, Samuel smiled. The goal is presence. Alex chose pottery. It was slow. It was physical. It was terrifyingly messy. He signed up for an evening class 6 blocks from his office. For the first 2 weeks, he hated it. His competitive nature raged. He tried to force the clay on the spinning wheel. He treated the clay like a corporate goal, force it into the perfect shape immediately. The results were disastrous. Misshapen bowls, collapsed vases, and frustration that made his hands shake. He realized that at work, he could delegate the failures. Here, the failure was his own sticky, wet reality. He couldn't control the clay. He had to yield to its nature. The clay had to teach him. In the 3rd week, something shifted. He stopped trying to make the perfect auto pot. He focused on the cool, damp sensation of the clay beneath his fingers. He listened to the steady, rhythmic whir of the wheel. He stopped thinking about the next acquisition and simply focused on the next second. He wasn't striving for an outcome. He was engaging in a process. He was making mistakes, laughing at them, and starting over. He wasn't gaining status, but he was gaining an internal richness. He was finally building his reservoir. When he finished his first usable, though wonderfully crooked mug, he held it, not as an achievement, but as evidence of sustained, quiet presence. He took it back to his high-rise apartment and drank coffee from it the next morning. It was the most satisfying cup of coffee he had ever tasted. He hadn't stopped working hard, but now his hard work at the office felt less like a desperate sprint and more like a tool he could use, rather than a master he had to serve. He had effort, but he had traded striving for growing. The lesson here is vital. If we pour all our energy into external striving, chasing metrics that confirm we are good enough in the eyes of the world, we create that high-velocity pipeline that leaves us dry. Striving is about the destination. Growing is about the present quality of the journey. We need to build the reservoir. We build it with slow effort, not frantic striving. We build it with activities that are not quantifiable, but are deeply enriching, whether that is pottery, deep conversations with loved ones, service to the community, or simply sitting in silence. If your life feels empty despite immense effort, it is often because your focus is only on the output, not the inner input. Shift your effort from proving your worth to experiencing your life. As the famous writer Viktor Frankl once wrote, "It is not the pursuit of happiness that fills our lives, but the discovery of meaning." Build the reservoir, not just the pipeline. I'll be back again with another inspiring story. Till then, be patient, be thankful, and keep moving forward in life.